I want to add one thing, and this is great news.
Absolutely.
We are Hardfork 17 coming up. Doing, of course, there is a lot of action going on Steemit's GitHub. You should watch it every day, like the Steemit blog. And what's new, well, what is old but is new, is that there will be unlimited amount of posts you can do every day. And unlimited 64,000 comments you can do in every thread. So that should be enough for everyone, I guess.
Agreed. And that's due for, what, the 14th? P-Funk, we're not going to click that. We're busy. Tell us.
All right. The final software is not necessarily released. There's only a pre-release candidate 1 for Steem 0.17.0. The hard fork is scheduled for 14th at 1500 hours UTC or 3 p.m. UTC, which is 11 a.m. Eastern US time.
So right now we are doing reviews of the code. My witness team is looking into the code, and other witness teams.
Who consists of your witness team, if we're able to know?
Well, Content Junkie is my teammate on the witness, and he is looking through the code. SteamSpeak members are looking through the code. Everybody is looking through the code, and we are discussing the code snippets that we find and comments that we find, and compiling it on test servers, getting ready to move to the stable release. Basically what we are now is debugging it, making sure that all bugs are weeded out before we go live with the new fork. So we are in the middle of that right now, and for the next 10 days we will be in the middle of that. I think we also have a shared vision that is starting to come to light, where we see the limitations in the future, that it might be a good idea to start talking more about how we as capital holders can delegate the vote power to the big masses, so that people that use the platform and whales might not need to use the platform. You see, investors can just invest and sit and do nothing for the next 10 years if they want to. So to accommodate a problem that is coming, I think we need to talk about moving towards a model where me and others can give the vote power to the people, and we get to keep the curation rewards as investors.
Yeah, that's another thing I wanted to actually ask. Maybe P-Funk, you might know the answer to this, or if anybody else does, please shout. The delegated voting, somebody asked me today and I wasn't sure. When you delegate your voting power to somebody else, are you delegating the power so that, let's say you give 20% of your voting power to somebody, you only have 80% of the power left? Or is it the bandwidth? You know, you give 25% of your votes away, which would be like 10 of your votes a day. So you only have 30 votes in a day. Which way is it? Is it the bandwidth or is it the actual power?
Both. Although the bandwidth is not exactly what you're thinking. You're more thinking of the voting power statistic. But the delegating voting power is basically, yes, it's taking a portion of your stake. You're keeping it, so it still belongs to you, but you're giving the power both in voting and in bandwidth, as far as network bandwidth, which is the rate limiting that usually people don't even notice on their account, but you're giving that to other accounts.
So when I say bandwidth, I'm talking about the 40 votes a day. So what's that called?
That is the vote target of the network.
Okay, so you don't give away any of your vote target?
No, your vote power stays yours, and their vote power is also theirs. It basically just proxies an arbitrary amount of Steem power over to somebody else for the purpose of voting.
But if you wanted to give away some of your power to people to vote, so that you could, sit back like First Stick and Says and do nothing while other people do your voting for you, would it not be better to do it by your voting target rather than your voting power, so that you can actually keep your voting power?
Well, you could have a hybrid system where I can vote with my power, and you guys can vote with whatever power I have left.
What about giving the power to prostitutes so they can go get us cocaine while we're sitting back on the beaches of Tahiti, letting people do our work for us because we're investors? Just saying.
Maybe you can do that when you get rich and can afford that.
That was a sneak diss.
But until then, we have an obligation. we have an obligation as witnesses to be conservative in many ways. And I know that it is that many people just want to have fun and liberty and no rules, no rulers and all that. But the fact of the matter is that I want people to have fun, but I'm not sacrificing for the users in form of giving away anything that I have invested in so that anybody can earn curation reward. Authors, those are the ones that will be rewarded, and they will be picked by human beings, thousands of them, instead of staff picked by 50 capital accounts, more or less. Because that's what you see on the trending page today. It's more or less a representation of staff picks. It's like Facebook, where you could wait forever until Zuckerberg and his team came and gave you a like on your post. And
Mark Zuckerberg never once liked any of my shit on Facebook. He's a prick.
Well, I'm gonna say that Tom likes some of my shit on MySpace, so go Tom. Fuck you, Zuckerberg. With that being said, we are 9 minutes over time, and I am 9 minutes over a tea break. But before we go, is there anyone in the audience that would like to say something or ask a question to one of the witnesses? I will give like 10 seconds to 15 seconds. Raymond Johnstone. I love saying your name like that. Sorry if it just sounds stupid as fuck. But he asked, will all witnesses present beings? Can you read that?
Are you stoned, honey? The price is dropping. Will all witnesses be present? What? Present? We all. Oh, yeah. Will all the witnesses present be upgrading? So, in other words, let's go through the list. Bitcoin, are you going to upgrade?
Most likely, since I'm low on the list, it doesn't really matter if I do or not. It's, mainly focused on the top 19.
Oh, yeah, that's true. But, you're important too.
Firstikin, are you going to upgrade?
yeah, I will upgrade and go live with a stable release candidate.
Colonel, are you going to upgrade? Hold on, before you answer, does upgrade mean like upgrade your guys' hardware and software? Is that what we're talking about?
No, just the software of the blockchain, but not the hardware. Well, you can upgrade the hardware if you want, but when there's a new hard fork, it's just change your code, the blockchain code, to have the new version.
Does that not make it a soft fork?
No, soft fork is not the same thing. A hard fork is when we make rules change to future blocks on the blockchain.
So-
No, you can't make that in a soft fork. It needs to be
It needs to be hard.
I mean, if we're gonna in consensus cases, it needs to be a hard fork. I mean, soft fork is for, I'm not gonna say the word, but real men prefer hard fork.
Are you upgrading P-Funk?
Likely. I've protested the style of releasing features, but at the end of the day, if it's getting shoved down our throats, it would be shooting myself in the foot if I did not upgrade.
Well,
So you'd
would you
prefer to
like
vote no if it was a vote?
If there were an alternative version where, say, there was less changes and then the changes that were implemented that were less priority, I guess, were kind of put down maybe a month later so that the changes wouldn't be so drastic all at once.
Okay, I have another question before we finish. I'm sorry, Lunch. This is going to take another while. When you vote for witnesses, okay, you're basically voting for what they're going to vote for. You're trusting them to vote for what you want, right? So how the hell are we supposed to actually know what the witnesses are voting for unless there's some kind of system beforehand where they publicly vote, like before the actual hard fork, where you just see what everybody would vote for?
Yeah, I've suggested that to Nate. I was asking him, is there like a formalized area? And there isn't. That's what I'd like to see, is for each top 19, and even the other ones optionally. For all, like there's 10 changes proposed in the hard fork, well, each one goes through and either approves or disapproves or says stop or blocks it, or different options for what they think of it. And then that gets tabulated and then a real consensus. Because the way it works now is you can object to it, but in the end, it just goes through anyways unless everyone objects to it.
What do you think about it, Bitcoin?
Everybody has all these different solutions, and it's, we continue to not acknowledge the fact that, we're in the code is this way and it's designed this way, but it's okay to behave this way. It's okay to be a large stakeholder and have this large concentration of power, and that's that's kind of where I'm saying.
Yeah. Yeah,
Oh,
I
I
agree
get
can-
with
exactly what you're saying. That was an intense question. Did we skip anyone? No, first again.
I'd like to add something. I'd like to add
Okay.
something. So, Beans, you brought up an idea of a public polling, and Colonel, said you were talking about it with Nate, and I think that's a really good idea. In the past, actually, polling like that has actually been effective at preventing a change that there was enough consensus on that would have been a bad one. Because way back when, there was a proposed change to add basically a comment reward handout where 25% of a post value would be given to any comments that made it manage to get an upvote in that post. And that just seemed like a very bad idea. And I don't think it was, the voice wasn't heard well enough from the people that were saying it was a bad idea. But I was able to poll the witnesses, sort of what you were just talking about, on the individual issues and changes on the next hard fork. And there was enough consensus on that one issue that it wasn't included. And so I think that's a good idea. And that might be what I go spend some steam on to create some sort of a polling or witness polling system.
That would be brilliant. See, that's the solution. Someone that can actually build it themselves. Because
Can I-
Bitcoin was.
Mhm.
I was gonna say.
I'm
okay,
just gonna-
Okay.
Mhm.
Steam price dropped.
Mhm.
Go.
I'm just gonna say that setting a poll is easy, getting it out there is easy, right? You just have to get people to actually participate. But yeah, I think we're all in agreement here that some sort of voting and pre-discussion is needed, right? We can all agree on that.
Yeah.
Well, that is what we are going to do for the next 10 days. It will be discussions and code review, and also to go through point for point the changes. And I do expect that maybe some changes will have to be put on hold while other changes might be included. But we will see. We will have to go through it and make our minds up. We have 10 days to do it, and so far I feel it's gonna go through, even though it's a large chunk of changes. But I mean, as P-Funk said, I don't agree with everything in the next hard fork. I think some things could be designed differently, but I see that it now has the potential to be adjusted differently easier in the future. So, it's a give or take. Just have to be sober-minded and conservative for the next 10 days.
Well, that's the advice, guys. Be sober, no cocaine, no prostitutes, and just work hard for the next 10 days, and shit should get better. With that being said, we are going to start wrapping up this podcast, unless you have something else to say, Beans.
I have one more thing to note. Just a note. I just think it's interesting. This Tuesday is going to be 13 weeks since the last hard fork.
What does that mean?
So the first paradigms at a rate of 13 weeks happened like 13 weeks ago.
I still don't
So
get it.
yeah.
I'd just like to draw attention to Raymond Johnston's comment in the chat. Thank you to all the witnesses here for taking the time to come in and discuss this. I've really enjoyed listening to you. Thanks, people.
Can I take a minute to thank Sea Blue? Because I'm sorry, Solange, but I think Sea Blue is winning on the meme game.
Dude, I taught him everything he knows.
I know, but he's beating you.
Yes, thank you all the witnesses that showed up. Thank you to everyone that showed up and took a listen to the witnesses. It was fun. It was wonderful. It was great. Peace and love. Thank you, Jacobs, Kurt. Thank you, Halincho. See, I already forgot how to say that shit. Halincho. Whatever.
Patalincho.
Thank you, Crypto Fiend. Apple Chris. Thank you, Bert. This is a great discussion between everyone. Hopefully we can have another one like this in the future. I am Sir Lunch.
I'm Beans. Thank you everybody for coming.
You guys have been listening to the voice of the underground. Go back to the overground. Tell them what you've heard. Some good shit. Get the hell out of here.